So I'm here in a car with xDrive50e. You might be able to look over there and say, oh, it's an X5. We've already seen this. But now we're talking about the X550e from 2024. Now, yes, standard to everything else that we tend to get coming in here right off the bat, this is a sold car, so we're not going for a test drive on this. But again, I drove this down and I was able to see some of the beautiful things about this car. So let's just start from the top, right? So as of right now, there's been a massive overhaul of this car. With 483 horsepower on tap, 516 pound-feet of torque, this thing has been heavily revised from its predecessor. Not only that, but now the newer electric motor puts out 194 horsepower. That's 83 more than its predecessor. That's almost 100% increase in power from the electric motor itself. So all that's put in there is still a synchronous motor that's in there, and it's still sandwiched between the transmission and everything else. But another beauty of it is it has something called a pre-staging piece, part of its transmission. What that means is that now this car puts out of its electric motor 330 pound-feet of torque instantly available, meaning that this beast can go from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, which is absolutely insane for a car this size. Another major benefit is the battery itself has also grown to just under 30 kilowatt hours altogether, a little less than a 25% increase altogether from its predecessor as well. But with the new improvements of not only the electric motor, but as well as the combustion engine, that means that this thing is also significantly more effective at doing its things. So the EPA estimated right now, granted it was done over in Germany, so they did it using the EPA's standards to do it, but they're estimating around 40 miles of range. If you don't believe me, she says so right there. 40 miles of electric range. Another major benefit of this, as you can see, is pulling quite a good amount of amperage in, as well as, I mean, our charger isn't exactly the most powerful thing in the world, but it can take up to 7.4 kilowatts, which means your charge time is actually less than the 5 hours that came from the original car, because now, instead of charging at 3.8 kilowatt hours, it charges at 7.4. Slightly bigger battery, yes, but having that almost double amount of power means that it charges in half that time. So you can get this thing fully charged in about 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on exactly where you're at. Another benefit of that, you now have more electric range, you have more effective everything. Now, a lot of this is actually taken out of the XM in terms of its hybrid technology that's in here. So that pre-gearing, the 330 pound-feet of torque instantly available, all that's factored into this car right here. Now, in terms of everything else inside here, you still have the carry-over steering wheel from the previous one. It's not getting one of the newer steering wheels. Since this is an LCI, it's not a brand new setup altogether. But with all the rest of it being heavily revised, you get, the newer everything down here. So this is new. Your, of course, xDrive50e is new. You get the newer dash right out of the X7 altogether. So it's a much more refined interior. You get the newer center console and all that jazz. Another major benefit of it is, of course, this particular one has the N-Sport bit, so you get the N-Sport key. And with this key, that also means you have Digital Key Plus, because it switches to the latest stuff in our lineup. So the technology is one of the newer bits. You don't get an interior camera like right up here, like you do in a couple of the cars, but everything else factored in. This is going to be one of the more usable cars out there. Now, if you want to talk about the back, there's nothing that's really changed in the back. So the back here is still the same as the previous one. Sensor-fin as a standard, leather as an option. But again, with today's sensor-fin, you don't even have to worry about that. But enough of that, let's jump to the back real fast. So here in the back, again, very comfortable, plenty of usable space. Everything down here exactly as you expect. Center passengers, things of that nature. And of course, back at the center console, you get your USB-Cs down there. Jesus, focus. Sorry, this stuff's throwing my focus all off. USB-Cs right down there, a little bit of cubby storage. This particular one does have heated rear seats as well. And if we jump to the absolute back in the trunk, we find that nothing has changed. It's still the exact same trunk. Again, this is an LCI. It is not a brand new vehicle altogether. In terms of the understorage, yep, this is still being taken up a little bit because a lot of things are moved because of the electric system that's in the car. You now get the Flex charger as part of this altogether. However, one thing is this is the Flex 2. So it only comes with your level 1 cord. Unfortunately, if you do get this particular charger with it, you don't get access to the level 2 or the NEMA 1450 accessory charger just yet. They are working on that, and they will have that out hopefully sooner rather than later. Of course, air suspension is standard, just as on the previous one. Sorry about the brightness. Yoink, hop in here. But the main thing that you definitely are going to feel about this is, of course, that 330 pound-feet of instant torque from that electric motor altogether. And that's really going to help out with a lot of people, especially if you just want to get a feel of this. This actually feels a lot like the M60 in terms of how it just instantly goes, and that it doesn't have the same sound altogether. But again, with lots of revisions on the new motor that's underneath the hood, it has more motor output, it has better efficiency, 48-volt mild hybrid, that's part of that. It has a completely revised head altogether. Things like I'm sure not everyone really cares about this, but I still think it's worth putting out there. Things like it has its entire exhaust manifold built into the head itself. That's kind of huge. That means it could be more efficient. And now it has port and direct injection, all that to make it more efficient depending on where you are in the rev range. Things change. Power outputs, all that reduces carbon buildup altogether, making your engine last even longer altogether. So again, all good things, amazing things about this car. If you put your foot down, you have plenty of instant power available to you to pass instantly. So you don't have to worry about whether you're off the line or passing on the highway. This thing just puts down regardless of what speed you're going. It's kind of amazing, actually, altogether. The range in itself altogether is about 530 miles, depending, give or take, with gas and electric altogether. And plenty of wheel options, the newer headlights, if you haven't seen that. Here are the revised headlights right here. So instead of having the halo style, they've gone to this kind of more minimalist style of it. I like how sleek the headlights are. They're a little bit thinner and a little bit nicer altogether. But you have, of course, your daytime running lights and turn signals as part of these little, well, arrows, I guess. And full LED setup, plenty of aero, active aero underneath as well. Radar system, front camera on this one. This one has the parking system itself. You can see an extra cooler underneath there. And this little guy right here, even though it's closed right now, is for brake cooling. So you have that one side and two side altogether. Of course, an active front grille as well to change coolings for the system itself. Again, 7.4 kilowatts of charging capable. Here's, you can't really see it on this, but this particular build altogether is $79,000 and a little bit of change. And of course is built around us. It should be getting around 58 mpge, 22 miles per gallon combined for around town on the gas engine only. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Another thing that's worthwhile, if you are big on your BMW's 5G personal eSIM, that is a standard feature in this car now. So that means you don't have to actually get an extra package or anything. You get the 5G personal eSIM, which will give you the availability for a hotspot as well. Now, as of this recording, as of right now, there's only AT&T and T-Mobile available for that connection. Verizon is supposed to be coming sometime soon, hopefully before the end of this month. And then you'll be able to connect to all those. If you have one of those suppliers that run off that, you won't be able to set up a personal hotspot or your personal eSIM. Quick thing about that, if you didn't know before, the personal eSIM not only gives you a Wi-Fi hotspot availability in the car for up to 10 devices altogether, it acts as another device on your cellular plan, meaning that you can actually connect it and receive phone calls on it, similar to if you have one of the newer Apple Watches that allows you to connect a phone to it. It's an extra line, so it'll allow you to still receive and send phone calls, even if you're not in the car. Now, it's not linked to the car itself, it's linked to your BMW ID, meaning that if you hopped into any other BMW with eSIM capability, you log in with your BMW ID, your profile gets downloaded, as well as your eSIM, meaning that you can get into any car with BMW's 5G personal eSIM and instantly be able to receive calls, even if you don't have your phone with you. So that's the benefit of all that. Again, if you haven't seen, I did a previous walkthrough of this car. Sorry, not this car, but the revised LCI before. And yeah, that's basically the quick overview of this. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, or even remotely bit entertaining, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. About 97% of you watch these videos and do not subscribe. You don't have to hit the bell icon. I don't care if you see absolutely every video that comes out, but subscribing helps out the channel and helps me. So I run this entire channel completely by myself, so I would appreciate any kind of help to keep this channel growing as it goes. And yeah, thanks so much. Let me put it this way. If we are able to hit, as of right now, it is April 19th. If we are able to hit 10,000 subscribers by July 4th, I will literally shave my head and face to be completely bald. So there it is. We hit 10,000 subscribers, which can easily happen if everyone just subscribes to it. I will literally shave my face. I'll do it on video if you want. I'll make it a live event. I don't care. If you want to do that, I'll shave BMW into the side of my head if you'd like. Options for you. But something to make this more entertaining and not just simply about the cars and the channel itself. Let's, keep it interesting for people that are watching. With that, again, JP Dunphy, keep on driving.